That's a little warm up. Thank you guys so much for coming out to Kotoricon. There is so, like, Samurai Dan and Joe are doing their thing. Plus Two has their own thing, and I'm grateful you guys came out in the rain to enjoy this. I'm glad you guys got out here on the. Ooh. Look how intimate this is. I feel like I should start reading some David Sedaris. My mother, 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 my father, my mother, my mother. There we go, yeah. No, thank you for joining us at the tail end of the polar vortex, which was just this weather catastrophe. Not the polar bear vortex. That is the working title for the sequel to Sharknado. That would be an awesome movie, and you all know it, and just Al Gore has to save us again. He wouldn't help anybody. He never does not. Thank you guys again for coming out. If you're unaware of it, the weekly podcast is called We Are the Geek. I've got a bunch of interesting blocks coming up for that bad boy. I should be hitting up ZenkaiCon, SetsuCon later this year. Another couple of things to keep your eye out for. So there's a web series that I play the supervillain for, but the pitch is they're the only heroes that Stamford, Connecticut can afford. So I had a great time doing that. It's called Schnozman and Hole Punch, the Justice Lease. And then the moment we launched it, this big name YouTube title, which is such a contradiction to begin with. It's like, it's less salty than salt, but it's sriracha, so it burns. And there's another Australian group, but it's far and few between. So the new album, if no one's aware, it's called Ecto Kit Lorian. That one's on iTunes and Amazon. I don't have physical copies. I'm working toward that. I got the t-shirts here this year, which is exciting. We got to use the heat press, and after like the 5th one, I learned you can just do them like on the floor. Like you don't have to wear them to do the heat press. And had someone told me that on the YouTube video, things would have gone a lot easier. And then, just keep your eyes peeled. I'm hoping to launch something in February, March-ish. Essentially, imagine if Avenue Q were written by the Venture Brothers. They're monsters in a fantasy campaign, but first they have to survive being roommates. They're my puppet friends now. I have these giant puppets, so I look up and there's this Cyclops that just stares down as you enter what we lovingly call the Lolita Cavern. It's the built-in cabin closet that we have here. If I go from here to here, it's Spalding Gray. There we go. That was for everybody over 30 in the audience. I apologize. But yeah, I'm a geek comedian, which means essentially, like, I don't think I even have a healthcare plan. Like, I just have hit points. Just like a set of, like, there's no armor class, there's no reflex save. Like, I've got full hit points minus, like, my back hurting, whatever that is, and then when that's gone, I don't know. So, thanks, Obamacare. Geek comedian pretty much means that your fantasy football league looks like the cast party to The Hobbit. Yeah, nobody can throw a Hail Mary pass, but everyone can cast Magic Missile. That's how we roll. I actually had my brother-in-law ask. That's his whole impression. It's Patrick Wahlberg getting punched in the balls. How's the anime going? Great. How's the sports going? The thing you subject us to that's the good? What is it, edible? I don't like you, I don't care, I don't know. I don't make eye contact with you, it's a lion thing. I could never pull anything off like this in high school. I was horribly unpopular in high school, which, I mean, kind of my own fault. Orange box. Oh, okay, so that's a Valve joke right there, I like that. I'm totally screwing with those balloons. Here we go. I mean, in high school, I was so unpopular, I would get butt dialed by telemarketers. And I'd be grateful for it. College got a bit easier. College, I had a lot of bisexual friends, which worked for me, because I was pretty desperate. It just doesn't help you to be picky when you look like Orlando Bloom topped with some Auburn sheep. Oh my God. I can't do this. This is the attempt of the beard. And I don't know if you've ever like shaved a Pomeranian and pumped it full of laxatives, but this is what it would come out. Christmas, I got my nephew one of my favorite books of all time, like the original Alice in Wonderland. So Alice in Wonderland is, if you don't know it, you're illiterate. I mean, if you don't know it, it's a story about a young girl who falls into a rabbit's hole. Now, phrased that way, it's a fairy tale. Turn it around. Lawsuit. That'd be my hope for that. I don't know, but there's all different kinds of love out there. As you get older, there's all different kinds of love. I identify as a foodie, which is a fatty but with self-entitlement.
I decide to eat this for my blog and my Yelp page.
All different kinds of love. I don't know, like, there aren't enough, like, I haven't seen enough, like, brony representation at the con to really talk about it, but which is fine by me, because ultimately bronies are just furries that couldn't commit. It's interesting. Like, a brony walking around a furry con, it's gotta be like a modern Jewish guy who just stumbles into Israel with all the Hasidics. You wanna do it right, you gotta look like us. But I'd look ridiculous. So I choose not to. You smell weird too. Okay, bye. Quasimodo wearing all black. Oh, this is really shiny. This is beautiful. There's all different kinds of love out there. Just gonna throw that one out here. And they tell you that we have such a weird complex as Americans, and we truly do. I truly believe this. This is now an installation piece. Like, so really big news for me. This week, a play that I wrote called Parables for the 1% is celebrating its off-Broadway release. The last day is tomorrow, the matinee. I can't even be there for my own play that I wrote, because I gotta be here for you guys, but I mean, I trust the actors, I trust the director. They've been amazing. Yeah, you're gonna drive up the 2.5 hours now, pay the $18. The play ended now. Okay, the play ended now. You lost. Wait, is there? No, it's just the matinee. There's another show at 8. But no, stick around for Mega Man. That one's gonna be fun. They tell that we have such complexes in America, and they're absolutely right. I blame Santa Claus. I blame the God of give me. Because ultimately, what is a prayer but a Christmas list that never comes through? I mean, I was told growing up, Santa's elf is watching you all year round, so be good. I was like, I bet he goes out for lunch breaks. When will that happen? Then it got even worse. In day school, like, I did a lot of Christian camps growing up, and they tell you, you have a guardian angel watching you all the time. Like, then why did they child-proof the house? Explain aspirin containers to me. If I've got a guardian angel, you have one job. Keep me alive. And he doesn't. And then junior high school, God is watching you all the time. All right, this is redundant now. The creator of, like, everything, heaven, earth, maybe not Detroit, but, like, all stuff, is watching you all the time. How about him? He's watching all of us all the time. He must get bored. Does he have, like, that's a lot. What's the guardian angel for, then? If I've got the big guy above, the whole point of telling you about the guardian angel and God watching you was to stop you from looking at naked people on the internet. Losing battle! Nice try. Have you seen Jennifer Lawrence recently?
Oh my God.
Yeah, half of you are girls. You understand what I'm talking about. Yes. Oh, hit me with the bow. Yes, yes, my Cupid. Spirit, I don't care. Just let me get yelled at by you. Because, to be honest, if I were the creator of all those things, don't look at the women on the internet. God made you. God made her. If I made Jennifer Lawrence, I would want someone to give me credit for it. So I'm sitting there, hey, big guy, did you do that? You responsible for that? High five. Yeah, look away right now. This is going to get ugly. You too, elf. So the elf was fine with me looking at naked people on the internet? They never told me not to. That's going on my damn tombstone. Probably my last words will involve something with lubricant, but then I remember in college, my grandfather passed away, and they told me he's always going to watch over you. And I thought, all right, let's talk about the West Coast Avengers that I have watching me right now. So I've got God, one of his angels who never does his work, a Christmas elf, and Grandpa. It's like Hawkeye on the Avengers. What are you going to do with that? What is my grandfather going to do better than God? I'm about to be hit by a car, and what's he going to do? Don't worry, God. I got this. Oh, never mind. Guardian angel's fault. And to be honest, if my grandpa were stuck, like, connected to me, like, fettered to me, hovered around me, the nicest thing I could do for him is look at naked women on the internet. That is the first thing he'd want me to do. Don't do that, he's watching. You apparently do not know my grandfather. You like that? Yeah, it's called Jennifer Lawrence. High five. You don't even have to pay for it anymore. I know, right? Yeah, I'll just carry it around with my phone. Go away, Christmas elf. You're not helping. Other news. The fiance just had the baby. It's not mine, but we're gonna keep it anyway because we've got extra room in the freezer. I like kids. A little Tabasco, a little garlic, you got yourself a meal. There are no babies. I am a designated cat dad, and using that phrase is just a bit less emasculating than dressing him in a little hat. Which I also do. Because it's wonderful to harass him. He deserves it. There's so much. Cosplay is one of the interesting factors to me. Like, I'm always interested when people are able to cosplay Nightfall, because cosplay is one of the things that we do as Americans to show that this is what I like. Whether it's the core emotional basis of the character, I want to see more of this in the world. Or whether it's just, this made me laugh so hard, I'd love to talk to you about it. Or whether I could pull this off, I'm not a size 6, I will be by the con. Willpower. I know cosplay is just a wonderful thing, but I think it's been around in America for a pretty long time. If you've ever, so cosplay, costume, play, you put the two together. If you've ever done a play while wearing a costume, we have a lot of proud cosplay American traditions in America. Mummers, drag queens, the KKK. Yeah, the crazy Kentucky cosplayers. Who'd you think I was talking about? I don't know if we can be friends anymore. I'm just kidding. I don't want to get fucked out anymore by telemarketers. There's always this interesting combination cosplays too. I love seeing when someone takes one thing and morphs it into another. Like, the Disney princess thing is everything. Like, it used to be steampunk, whatever. Steampunk Sailor Moon, steampunk Avenger, steampunk Disney princess. I'm looking forward to see like Disney princess as positive female role models. You know, maybe one day. One day. They'll get around to that. But the new one that I'm trying to come up with is, because my cat sleeps in our cosplay closet, the new cosplay addendum, cat hair. Cat hair Disney princess. Cat hair Darth Vader. Cat hair Uncle Iroh. Zuko, all the nations, crazy cat Uncle Iroh, all the nations have to live together in peace, Zuko, like the 12 cats in my robe. Don't touch the white one, he is a fighter. And this one I burned off the hair. I named him Scroats. Because you never know when he's fixed. Take your time with that one. Just to know. I want to see like a Disney princess like crossover to other internet memes. Like I want to see Disney Princess Doge. I want to see Disney Princess Chuck Norris. We had that. She's called Chun-Li. Never mind. But you gotta make sure at least know enough of the cosplay to know to ask the person if they actually are in costume, because I live in New York City and we don't have a word for eccentric. It's just what we see every day. I mean, it's like calling out the woman, oh, when are you due? I'm fat! Oh. I was in a restaurant last time I was at Kotoricon. That's a great lumpy space princess. I'm allergic to shrimp! Call a doctor! That's a doctor. They only play one on TV. All right, bye, Matt Smith. What about Dr. Horrible? That's a horrible doctor. Now you just kind of free shrimp. I guess one of the weirdest things I ever saw with cosplay was, of course, from Tay's Internet. And so, Japanese dude standing next to a girl dressed as Suzumiya Haruhi from The Melancholy of Suzumiya Haruhi, one of my all-time favorite shows of like the last 10 years. Flat out like that show. So she waves to the camera. I have no idea where the video goes from here because there's no title. That's always a good sign. So she lies down on a sheet of plastic. He runs another sheet of plastic over her. He starts sealing up the edges, and he vacuums out the air between these two, effectively sandwiching, cuts a little hole for her mouth. Let's take a step back. He's shrink-wrapping a human being. He's laminating a cosplayer. You think it's perverted to him? Limited edition, baby. But the speed at which he does in the video tells you he's had practice. collection of laminated cosplayers. How do you introduce people to that? That's not a first date icebreaker sort of thing. You leave that off the OkCupid profile until like a month into it at least. You're gonna break people into it easy. Let me see my bedroom. I got all the classics. I got Ray and Asuka from Evangelion. I got the Major from Ghost in the Shell. Oh, you also got some American stuff. Is that the Corpse Bride? Oh, that used to be the Princess Bride. I gotta clean these things out. That's not Swamp Thing. That used to be Trixie from Speed Racer. You look about her size. What a cosplay. There's all different kinds of love, though. Let's not dismiss that. I mean, I was kind of born and raised geek, and as I go through the motions of identifying with the geek identity, it's interesting to me because it used to be dork, dweeb, nerd. Now it just kind of means you listen to the Nerdist and deal with it. I mean, I'm from science fiction parents. My parents were hardcore old Star Trek. And when I was 6 years old, they dropped me and my cousins off at our first convention. And they were so surprised at how excited we were. We just ran off, and then they were even more surprised later that night when we found our way home. Nice try, Mom! Guardian Angel had GPS. High five. But I mean, that's the hardest part for me, is we grew up science fiction, and I started to question, why are we doing this? Why do we like this? I started to have, thoughts and doubts and questions, and I started to ask myself, is this really what I like? Is this really what I want? I came to the conclusion, I'm more of a sci-fi. I'm a fantasy guy living in a sci-fi family. I should tell my, no, they'd kill me. I can't come out and tell my family that I like fantasy more than science fiction. I gotta hide it from them. So after school, like, you meet behind the building with the other guys and, like, take turns reading each other's C.S. Lewis books. Just to try and get it out. Like, I would try to sneak it around the house. Like, I'd walk around with my elf ears on. My dad's like, what are you dressed as? I'm a Vulcan, Daddy! Live long in space, force, whatever. So I finally admitted. I finally came out as a fantasy guy last Thanksgiving. And the horror on their faces. My mother asked, have you tried not reading Tolkien? My father wouldn't have anything to do with this. He threw down he threw down a photon torpedo. I threw back a magic missile because that's who I am. Damn it. He yelled Shazam. I yelled Expectrum Patronum because moon prison power would have sounded gay. It was a hard time. There's all different kinds of love, as you'll learn with your family. It's interesting is family needs you for what you are to them. Friends love you for who you are. You'll be very interested as you get older how the difference between the thickness of blood and water, and vodka too, those are very fun. Part about the geek identity is it was finally something for me to feel proud about obtaining and showing off and being happy about that. Because I'm a straight, white, left-handed male, all right? On paper, that looks amazing. According to Fox News, if I were any more American, I'd be outsourced to China. I just wouldn't be here. I'd be on the moon with the rest of our money and China's technology. Oh. But it's interesting to me as seeing the geekdom develop. You can now have a microcosm of a fandom. If you like a specific actor, you just get clumped together with that. If you like Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki, you're a Hiddlestoner. There we go. If you like Benedict Cumberbatch, you're a Cumberbitch. If you like Justin Bieber, you are a pedophile. Right. That's how we do this. I just think to me, the hardest part is dealing with elitists. People who were in the convention circuit long before the younger guys. And the thing is, the younger guys are still buying badges. They're still loving it something different. You should, Uncle Yo, you gotta watch Fairy Tail. I already had it when it was called Naruto. When I was your age, that was the thing that opened it up for me. I can't identify at that level. Most of you have like a 5 or 10 minute scene from an anime, or like one song on a weird rainy night, or one test that you just aced out of nowhere. All of you have like 6 major themes and songs and moments from a show that if you put them all together and just handed them to someone, they would completely understand you and hopefully want to keep making out with you. It would just be the shortcut. There's all different kinds of love. Don't judge. But you don't even have that option. I recommend that because we can now just get media whenever we want, which I don't know what you guys are going to complain about when you're like in your 30s and 40s. Back in 2013, 2014, if you wanted new anime, you got it. It was horrible. We had to open up our own iPads, and that was it. But it was hard. We didn't have the anime robot just yelling at us. I just think that every fandom is like a public park. That's the way I like to look at it. Like everyone, like this whole stage right now is just Doctor Who. Everyone should be able to enter it, enjoy it, walk through it at their own discretion. Now, some people will take over the gazebo in the public park, build up a furniture fort, and say, "They do Mordor!" And they are called furries. Because I didn't see enough brony representation. That's the normal punchline. It's so fun how you can just switch those off. What interests me too? No, I just got to go into it. Oh, dang. All right. Because I'm running out of time, so I want to play with this one with you guys. So, Pokemon X and Y, loved it. Loved it. It wasn't a love. It was loved that my girlfriend had something to distract her from asking me to take out the garbage. High five, God. I don't know, for me, a Pokemon tournament is a lot like speed dating people with crippling emotional baggage. It's pretty much the same thing. You don't know what they have around their waist, but you know it's probably going to be violent. One of you is going to be on fire and end up unconscious. That's the problem with speed dating or going to a kink convention is just they reach for their belt. Brace yourself! We don't know what's coming out. Here comes something legendary. No, that's a fairy type. Oh, yeah?
Mega Evolution!
Why do we come to this con? Why do we bother with this? Pokemon is about exploiting your enemy's weakness, while dating is about playing off to your strengths. Although, no, that's probably the other way around, to be honest. I mean, some people are proud of their emotional baggage and just wear it proudly. That's what Ash Ketchum must be. There must be like some restaurant or hotel that he's walked in with Pikachu on his shoulder and they've just gone in, excuse me, sir, this is a human resort, this is a 5-star restaurant, could you please put the Pokemon back in his bag? He's the person at that point who, it's not even, hi, my name's Jeremy, I have ADD. My name's ADD, I have squirrel! Yeah, she sits down and says, can you put the rat back around your waist? You can see him too? Oh no, he does not like to go in the ball. He says it's dark. Get him. Must be the hardest part. Everyone in the Pokemon world, all of your protagonists are kids. Just these young little kids. They're always 10 years old, forever and ever. Ash Ketchum never seems to age. He always has at least 2 people following him around, and there's no way he can carry a Snorlax around his waist unless the Pokeball were bigger on the Ash Ketchum was a Time Lord. I gotta write that down. Shut up, this is important. Shut up! Okay, we're good. Alright, we're friends now. Don't worry, I still love you. Ish. There's all different kinds of love. You'll learn to compromise. This is a dark show! There must be one dude. One guy in the Pokemon world who wanted nothing to do with it. He wanted an actual job. Some 60-year-old guy who, like, when he was really young, he had the hots for Ash's mom, but then Professor Oak beat him to it. And then later, when he tried again, Gary Oak beat him to it. I think Ash's mom is just, like, the neighborhood ride-on, to be honest. I think they just kind of... All right, you played X and Y, so this next material is based for you guys. There must be some 60-year-old guy who just, like, gave up the dream. He just settled. He thought, I'll just stay in my starter town. He just got a job standing alone in a weird house, saying things like, hi! Bye! Maybe he got a job working like a steak and shake at his Pokemon world, never questioning where the steaks came from. But maybe he like went through a midlife crisis and he decided, all right, you know what? I made myself a promise and I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to be a Pokemon master. But he's really out of date. He hasn't like learned about the other 6 continents of Pokemon. Like his starting types are still like, they're really old, but they never evolved. Like you face off against one kid and like his Squirtle looks like a raisin. His Bulbasaur is all like pale and limp like a scallion you left in the fridge. Vitamin! Oh, he self-mulches. Ew. His Charizard's got like cataracts and arthritis. The pilot light went out. Oh, this gets darker. Wait for it. And like, so the little kid's like laughing at him, like, just drops like a Leafeon on him and crushes him and just points and laughs at him. Just laughs at the 6-year-old man's face and he feels like a lifetime of sorrow and worry and failure build up, so he just punches the kid. He just punches the kid, just strangles him, leaves him alone in the middle of the woods and realizes, takes his Pokemon wallet, badges, runs for it. Realizes, wait a minute, these kids never learn to defend themselves. They rely on the... So he keeps doing it. Like, he keeps challenging kids, bringing them behind him, just beating the crap out of them. Just taking all their Pokemon, and he has so many badges. And he starts realizing, wait, the badges mean nothing. It's money that lets you do anything. They're just a means for a vague shadow government to keep the kids in a cycle of violence and reap the rewards while never questioning the actual political problems with the world. Like, why is there only one police officer in every town who looks exactly the same? We're living in the Matrix. So this old man finally decides he's going to go where the power is. He's going to take the power. He's going to be the very best, the way that no one ever thought to be. This summer, Harrison Ford, Sylvester Stallone, and Arnold Schwarzenegger are Giovanni and the Expendables. Yay! I'm amazed that a nation that put an SUV on Mars is still using a groundhog in Pennsylvania to predict when spring will arrive. That's us. That's Americans. We're a walking contradiction. So we're so close to progress. Like actual nerdy, geeky progress of like thinking for ourselves, all right? We have access to the entire human race's collective of knowledge as modern Americans. We can see, we can hold it in our hands, we can hear it forever. We can learn whatever we want. You can basically pick up a college degree from YouTube. If you search for the right things, you'll find it. And yet we don't think to listen to the other person next to us. How many of you have ever done this at a con? Where are you? I'm right by the red door. Where's the red door? I don't know where you are. Oh, hi. Hi, I'm trying to find you. Where are you right now? We stop using our senses. We stop using our heads. We stop thinking at some point. America spent 230 years, that's how long we've been around, arguing if marriage was a legal issue or a religious issue. Which brings to the question, why do we have this argument in Washington where we make our laws in a nation that separated church from state at the get-go? We have old men deciding women's health rights and straight people deciding gay rights, which is like the shark planning out the baby seal schedule. At 3 p.m., we'll go to the park, and at 3:30, the hibachi grill. And 4:30 is dinner. Why did we outsource our telecommunication jobs to nations that don't even communicate in English? Why did we outsource our military operations to drone bombers before reading Asimov's 3 rules of robotics? More and more information and contradictions are going to be added and obscuring every argument. So there's no way to tell who is the least full of it. So if you're going to live on the internet, you're going to do this to yourself. You're either going to have to make a decision. You're either going to have to believe everything that comes across, or you're just going to say everything that you've ever read and will ever read is a lie. So I like to believe the best in people. Let's take America at face value. I believe everything I've ever read about President Barack Obama based on YouTube comments. I truly believe he's a father and a husband, if possible, an academic and an athlete. I believe he's a conservative liberal and a pragmatic idealist. Perhaps he's both man and machine. The best president and also the worst president. I think he's both a tyrannical, elected official and a socialist dictator. Thanks, Fox News Network. I believe he went to both Harvard Law School and Hogwarts. I believe he's both black and white, He's Muslim and Christian. He's pro-death sentence, anti-abortion, and his blood is a very effective antioxidant. I believe he's a nerd. I think he's a public speaker and a private citizen. I believe that every full moon he turns into a ginger albino werewolf, and every time he gains a level, he gains an additional D10 hit points, plus his constitution modifier. Because he's a fighter type. I believe he's a member of the X-Men, the Avengers, Congress, and the Justice League. I believe he was simultaneously born in Hawaii, and Kansas, and Krypton! I believe he is both the rightful heir to the Iron Throne and the King of Atlantis. I think he is the one. He's the mighty one, the Lion King, the King of Queens, the African Queen, the Princess Bride, Miss Congeniality, Mr. Mom, Mr. Wizard, Captain Morgan, Axe Cop, and Dr. McNinja. I believe my elected President Barack Obama is a volunteer firefighter, a manatee, a mermaid, a merman, and a fire elemental. I believe he is a mastodon, pterodactyl, triceratops, saber-toothed tiger. Thank you for both of you who have penises in the audience for remembering that. Yes, that was a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger one. I believe he's a black lion, he's that too, a blue unicorn, a yellow griffin, and a red dragon. I believe, well, not that stupid pterodactyl canary thing. I didn't like that faceplant thing. That's just me. I believe he's both a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. I believe he says potato and potato, ham sandwich and pastrami. I believe he can see the ultraviolet light spectrum and that he's watching my every move, along with Grandpa, the Christmas elf, the guardian angel, maybe God himself, and that when he gets on Joe Biden's shoulder, they form Mecha Shiva. I believe he's Oprah Winfrey in drag. I believe he's a super intelligent alien cyborg piloted by 7 baby kangaroos wearing eye patches and sombreros. I know, right? Sombreros? That wouldn't fit. That's cross-cultural. I believe he put the bop in the bop, shabop, shabop, and then the lamb and the lamb and the lamb and ding dong, but not the chang and the chang, 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 shabop. That was Nixon. And most importantly, I believe, full-heartedly, without a shadow of a doubt, beyond argument, absolutely, as Glob is my witness, the self-evident truth that all men are created equally full of crap. I'm playing with this one. See how it goes. Oh, thanks for seeing me funny, Mom. The internet's rife. Well, there's all different kinds of love. You know that if you've been paying attention. The internet's rife with creative nerd passion, from steampunk fan art to Lolita fashion. Some folks post a vine and attention will spiral. They'll make the front page when they're suddenly viral. They come from all places, no one knows where they start, with Let's Plays, webcomics, and stop-motion art. We can pine all day for a slice of that pie, but you've all got a project. You just gotta try. It pays to display. All clicking's contagious. But you dream joining their ranks to be internet famous. Some quick cut film edits and a small webcam minion could garner you fans who respect your opinion. What you craft out of love could be very well said, could very well sell. You'll watch as your wallet and ego both swell. So draft away, test it, have a perfect release. Don't quit your day job or sign any lease, especially not in blood or ass if you want to sign a contract. That guy's a jerk. Be sharp, be terse, be current, and pay attention, and maybe someday your work will be mentioned. You'll juggle, you'll struggle, it's far from painless, but you'll love every minute when you're internet famous. So you've built up some views, you've been a blast on podcasts, befriended kindred spirits whose attention spans last. Now burn no bridges, produce while you can, begin guesting at cons and befriend every band. Boast your merch from your perch, your buddies will sing and brag to their friends, he's the guy from the thing! Like him! And if you're broadcasted a bunch, how your smile will beam. You won't sleep at a con because you're living the dream! You'll hover on cloud 9 while your schedule is heinous, but you'll never give back being internet famous. So connect your community, constantly create, commune with your crowd, and please communicate. They'll want your attention, they'll seek your praise. Some claim you're a god, some say just a phase. Some cynics can censor and critically undress you, cancel one update by chance, and even fans turn against you. The trolls take their toll like any affair. They'll blame you, they'll drain you, and they don't even care. They'll whine like they've crabs shoved up their anus. And they'll hunt you full time when you're internet famous. But don't dwell on duress. Do all that you can. Dodge the deranged that deem you're just a flash in the pan. So branch out, collaborate, and damn your fans' attention span. Draft different ideas, keep up with demand. I don't deny or deface, but some artists were dicks. It's a lot like the Hunger Game, but for YouTube clicks. A garage full of t-shirts, was it all a mistake? That glow in a fan's eyes, that wasn't faked. At least you tried. But no one can blame us, because we all take our shots at being internet famous. Thank you, everyone. Live, laugh, and love.